Front nine, back nine, or eyeing the 19th hole, wherever you are in life, Host Plus can help you drive your retirement further. That's a plus.
Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot. Smooth, controlled and powerful. Titleist, the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Betr, when the greats bet, they bet with Betr. Ping will help you play your best. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Now, here's Nick and Mark.
And history at home for Hannah Green. She can now proudly call herself an Australian Open champion. And she joins Kari Webb in the elite of Australian women's golf.
G'day everybody, welcome to the program. Where do we start, Nick? Because so much happened during the week. We've got Hannah Green being the first Australian to win a home open since 2014. We had Cameron Young and Ludvig Aberg. What the hell happened there? We got Brian Rollap. Our multi got up. Where do you want to start?
Look, we've got to start with Hannah.
Of course we do.
The Australian Women's Open at Kooyonga. Kooyonga was our touch of class. I'm not actually sure how many touches of class we're going to have this week, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Could be a few. And before we go any further, congratulations to Kooyonga. Your golf course stood out as a picture. I mean, one of the best. Some of those holes, like around, was it 7, 8, 9? Not so much 9. 7, 8, 6, with the hills in the background and the rolls.
Yeah.
The coverage picked it up beautifully.
I've known those holes are always just fabulous. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch it live because I was commentating on the Heritage Classic at the same time, but I was keeping an eye on the scores on the side. And
I watched it. I watched a good portion of it.
And by the way, round of golf by Cassie Porter. Thank you very much.
We'll get to that in a second.
I know.
So she's penciled in, don't worry. But just watching, even though it was tight at the top, sitting on my couch at home, she was never, ever going to lose. She bogeyed 17, but where they had that pin, it's a beautiful, it was such a good 17th hole pin placement. Cassie did well on that one as well. I'll get to that shortly. But I just felt the way she was swinging the club, she seemed so level-headed. She was thinking so clearly, and I could feel that from my couch. And, when we spoke to Richie Smyth that long ago, and we're talking about
what he said about her?
What he
said she is a beast.
A beast.
And in the nicest possible way. Yeah.
in a golfing,
That's right.
in a golfing sort of way. And that came across.
Yeah.
Her swing is so repeatable now.
Yeah.
We love the shoulders stopping, arms stop, everything stops. Shoulders, arms, and club stop at once.
I'm going to do
so beautiful.
I'm going to do a combination masterclass later on with Hannah Green and Cam Young. It's going to be a combo masterclass. Nice. So this will be a fun one.
All right.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll look out for that. So look, congratulations to Hannah. You are a star. All the part players, all the players are on the leaderboard as well. No one seemed to take too many backward steps. It was beautiful golf played on a beautiful golf course. But can we talk about our very own Cassie Porter? Because when I flicked the TV on, she was about 6 and kind of in the picture.
6 under through 10 or something, right?
And then she just kept on going. But can I say, we've got a couple of BMW touches of class.
Sure.
But this is BMW Touch of Class number 1.
Okay.
To be 10 under par through 16 holes. On 17, if you know the golf course, folks, it's a dog leg over a hill to the left. There's a bunker on the top left of the hill. And if you're just hitting a little turner over that bunker, you've got nothing in. A flip.
Yep. An
absolute flip to a pin that is on the corner of the right edge of the green, and there's a big, beautiful pond.
Great Sunday pin.
It was the best Sunday pin of all time. Something must have happened off the tee. They didn't show her tee shot, but she was so far back.
She probably laid up with an iron then.
She was so far back. Anyway, she's done, if I was her caddy, exactly what I would have told her to do.
Anywhere but right.
Anywhere but right. So she's, just trying to knock it on the left edge of the green, and 2-putt is what I would have told her.
Yeah.
She's pulled it a little bit, And now she's got a chip. And if you don't know, the pitch of the green from left to right just goes straight downhill into this pond.
Yep.
And let's just show the shot, Nick, because people on YouTube will be watching. But here she is. She's got a downhill lie with the chip, and she's got to chip it up and land it on a downslope. And like I said, the pitch of the green points you straight to the pond. But look how nerveless this chipping action is. It is so pure.
Oh, yeah.
Just the right amount of check to where you know she hit it perfect.
It's hard off tight grass, off a downhill lie as well. Had to nip that perfectly. If she clunks that a little, it's gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
And for her just to, and again, if I'm her caddy, I'm saying leave it 4 foot short of the pin, right?
Yeah.
And hoping it would be 6 or 7 foot, and then you've got to hold. And then she hold that putt. We're not going to show the putt, but she hold that putt so easily.
Yeah.
It looked like it looked like it was a practice putt on the practice putting green before she played. Just went bang straight in.
It's a touch of class right there.
No doubt about that.
That's number one, touch of class.
Yeah,
we
stay
had more.
tuned.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But I did actually manage to catch a couple of the highlights afterwards after I finished my thing, and I was so impressed with Hannah, by the way. Her second shot into 18, she had a one-shot lead. She got a bit lucky with the bounce off the tee shot. I think she flared it right, hit a mound.
Yeah.
I think she called it a members bounce later.
Accurate.
She did really well on 17 to make bogey as well after finding that fairway bunker you spoke about.
At the top of the hill, yeah.
Yeah, but the iron into 18, I think they said she had 156 metres. Green was firm. Green was playing a lot smaller than the size of it because of the firmness.
And again, a Sunday pin.
Flushed it. I mean, this golf swing was pure. Flushed it to the centre of the green. She had her husband Jared on the bag again. That's 2 wins in a row, by the way, with the husband on the bag.
Yeah, I think that's it for your professional career, Jared. I think you're a caddy from this point forward.
And then it was over, and players stormed onto the green doing your favourite thing.
Oh yeah, I don't like it. Well, look, it looked like she enjoyed it, so well done. The champagne shower, well done. If it happened to me, I'd run the other way, I reckon. Luckily, of course, Nick, I never won as a professional, so I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to worry about that sort of stuff. Look, well done to everybody involved. The broadcast, the course, the winner, the participants. Cassie Porter, 62. It was a brilliant tournament, and well done to the South Australian government for supporting golf. And they support golf in a big way, mate. They've got Liv. They're putting feelers out for Australian Opens. They want the lot. Yep. They are open for business in South Australia.
Well,
so, well done.
Hannah said afterwards it felt like winning a major, which is a great advertisement for the tournament. It's now co-sanctioned with the Ladies European Tour. Normally, I think a few years back it was co-sanctioned with the LPGA.
Yep.
But LET's come in now. Hopefully we can get some, some of the superstars coming down. We had all our Aussie superstars, which is fantastic. And I was really impressed with this Agathe Lene, the French woman, who really pushed her down the stretch. And the other one was Cassandra Alexander.
You might have seen her chip in on the 15th hole. So there's back-to-back par 3s, 14 and 15. She's hit it in the bunker, and then she's sculled it over the green. So it looks like she's, if she's a bit nervy, she could make a double bogey. She chips in from the back. It was that sort of golf. I mean, it was gripping golf to watch, particularly when you know that how coveted Hannah Green wants this tournament. I mean, she loves this tournament, clearly. Anyway, it was very, very good.
Excellent.
Now, where do we go?
Well,
because
do you want to go with some really good news?
Yeah, go on.
The multi came in.
Oh, yes.
For the players.
And if I think we've only done about 8 or 9 for Betr, would be my guess.
Yeah, it'd be something like that. Yeah, yeah.
And we've had 2.
And we've had one at 6.5 and one at about 14. So
Way ahead.
we are well and truly ahead. So, folks, get on board the Betr, because we know more than Betr. We know more than the man in the goat suit.
Yeah.
He's not that good.
Not that
He
good.
doesn't get golf. Hummer.
But Dan, you were saying we did get pretty lucky with the Morikawa one, right?
We got a little lucky. Morikawa withdrew after, I think it was after a couple of holes with he was feeling not in a good way. Had he withdrawn prior to the tournament starting, the multi would have been voided, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
But because he started, the multi stood.
One
There
more
you go.
thing before we get to
Sure.
the players. Hannah Green, I did some radio for Wide World of Sport last night, and they hadn't updated it. She was number 9 in the world. Could you just check on the women's world golf ratings and see where Hannah Green has moved to?
Yeah.
I predicted last night it might have been up, just gone
6,
past
7?
Lydia Ko and got to 6.
Maybe.
So hopefully she's, I love her to be in the top
To,
5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'd love her to be in the top 5. Anyway,
Rolex rankings.
oh, here we go. See if it's updated while we're going.
Here we go. The category 7.
7. So
Yeah,
she's moved up a
couple
couple
of
of spots. Good on her.
Nice.
Fabulous.
Oh, I wonder what Cassie Porter did.
Yeah, see where Cassie
Check out
Porter is in the
Cassie.
world too. That's a
She
good
would have
idea.
moved up a fair bit.
Where do you want to start with the PGA? You want to start with Ludvig falling away, or
Up to
do you want
115.
it
by the way.
115?
Great.
Good on you, Cassie.
23 spots up.
Well done. Do we talk about the course? Because this golf course, it seems to do it every single year. I mean, the PGA Tour, I saw something, you might want to bring it up, Dan, while I'm talking about it. The last 3 winners have, the last 3 tournaments, the person on the PGA Tour who looked like a certain winner has dropped away.
Well, Ludwig's 63 on Friday
one of the
had
best
him.
rounds you'd ever
It
seen.
was just incredible. And then Saturday was a bit of a scrap fest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't play their best golf. I think the early, people who went out early had the better of the weather, I guess you could say. But it wasn't that difficult in the afternoon. But they all just were kind of in stall mode. And then I figured they were going to soften the course a little on Sunday, put the pins in those accessible spots. But as it turned out, it was pretty tough going.
Yeah, and the wind got up. And a lot of people chipping from the front of the 18th. Everyone that I saw, they chipped it straight over the back.
Very hard pin that one. So deceptive.
And you can see that where the pin is, as soon as you get past that pin, there's a downslope over the back. So if you're chipping onto that green and it's a downwind chip and you're trying to get it up the hill in the first place.
Which is where Fitzpatrick ended up.
Yeah, that's right.
So
exactly.
I think let's talk about the 18th and well, maybe the last couple of holes, I guess,
Well,
because
let's start with Cameron Young birdieing 17, all right? And that gets him level with Fitzpatrick. So Fitzpatrick hits it left. And
which one shot lead, that's the play.
Perfect-
30 feet left,
perfect
great.
play.
Cameron Young, he said afterwards, that it's hard to explain to people how difficult that shot is. Not so much because of the water. Well, the water is a big factor. But for him to get it down to where it did, he has to land it in, I would say, a 2 meter square area.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the number he had, he said it was the perfect gap wedge where he could go flat out because it was blowing straight downwind, which makes it even harder.
Yeah.
If you've got to take something off that shot into 17, the spin's not there. If it takes a big firm bounce, you're straight over the back. Or you've got to use the slope on the front left. And he hit this absolutely perfect flat-out gap wedge. And you'll notice with these players, and this is a great lesson for everyone at home, whenever they were downwind, they were going flat out because you want spin on the ball.
Yep.
Into the wind, you want to take spin off the ball, and that's why they were hitting him so hard. Fitzpatrick was the same, and it was magic.
I had a look at his what's in the bag. He's a Titleist player, but his wedges are quite unusual. I mean, his pitching wedge is 48, which is kind of old school standard.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Probably like your pitching wedge is today, thereabouts. Then he goes to the 52. So he hit a 52 degree to that 17th. That's
Did
his
he?
gap wedge.
Okay.
Then he moves to a 57.
Wow.
So, we're getting close to a lob wedge.
He might have hit the 57, actually. That's what I
hit the
heard.
57.
Yeah, I think he might have because the yardage wasn't that far. I don't know what it was
It
playing.
was downwind.
It was straight downwind. I
was
think he might
downwind.
have hit the 57. 52 would have been too much.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
120. So he did.
Okay.
He hit his 57,
57.
120 yards. Then he's got a 62. And then I thought, gee, they're extreme offs. Really. So, and then I looked at his driver. Using an 11-degree driver.
Really?
So we're about to talk about his driver because after he hit it inside Fitzpatrick's ball and it rolled down, it was the best putt he's hit in his life. I mean, it was just perfect. He couldn't go at it because a lot of people who had gone at it had gone 4 foot past. You don't want that tension and then walk to the 18th tee. So
You just want to drip it in.
You just want to drip it in.
Yep.
He dripped it in perfect. But then he gets up on 18 and pulls the driver. Now, there's
We need to watch this
Oh, yeah,
tee shot
go on.
because this is special because the day before
He
he
hit
hit it in the water.
He hit it in the water.
Now, he said the day before he did not hit a bad tee shot, but I love in his press conference afterwards, before he steps up, he said 2 things. He said, number 1, I had to fully commit to this tee shot. And number 2, I'm about to hit the greatest shot of my life. I mean, imagine saying that to yourself.
Yeah.
And he said he's never done that before.
No, well, let's have a look at this drive because it'll be replayed for years and years and years. That is a complete flush. 186 ball speed, miles per hour. And if he doesn't turn it, Nick, it goes into the trees.
375 yards, the longest tee shot ever hit at Sawgrass,
Longest ever.
On 18 since they've been using the shot length data.
Incredible.
Now, a couple of things there. We always talk about the driver is one of the hardest clubs now to draw, I think.
Yep.
It's more of a faders club just because of the low spin. But he does like to draw it. The loft on it, you said 11 degrees, certainly going to help there.
In the bag.
The biggest surprise for me.
It's an 11-degree GT3. So it's quite a lofty driver.
When Fitzpatrick stepped up and pulled driver after him, I thought, because he's a low ball hitter and he doesn't shape it that much from right to left.
Right.
I thought he should hit 3-wood, maybe even an iron, and he's still going to be able to. I think 3-wood would have been perfect because 3-wood's much easier to turn from right to left, but he hit it through the fairway and obviously that didn't work out.
It's funny because I knew he wasn't going to hit the ball 375 yards. And when he hit his, the shot tracer looked on a pretty good line to me. But you are correct. Downwind,
well, he hits it a long way as well.
Club for, if you're not turning it right to left.
You know how far he hit it, Fitzpatrick? Because they put the numbers up for the week, longest drives. He hit it 352.
So he's a bomber as well. I mean,
he's long,
and that's something he's worked on. He's one of the only players that I can remember, and there's been a few. I mean,
there's a lot of speed training.
Minjie Lee put on 20 yards and did that in the gym. A few other players have put on yardage from their gym work. But from what I can remember, just purely when I watch social media, gym work's obviously involved, but it was more going at it as hard as he possibly could on the driving range to increase his speed.
Work. Yeah, he would get these heavy things and swing them as hard as he possibly could. The thing is, his backswing is almost as fast as his downswing as well. It's over in a flash.
Yeah.
A little bit like Ludvig in that sense. So, but the other thing with Fitzpatrick, he's kind of an unusual character. He's put it this way, he's not cool, is he? I mean, when you watch him play, he used to have braces.
And he's overtly polite. Yes. Everyone who plays with him. And that's unusual for a golfer, folks. Believe me, being polite is very unusual.
What I want to know is why he was doing this. He was putting the shoulders back, the chest out before every shot coming down the stretch. And I thought, I wonder if that was a release of tension or whether he's trying to feel a bit more macho or something, as in when he walks into the ball, I'm the man. I mean, I don't really know.
It's funny. I think tension and pressure affects everybody a little bit differently. I was only in these situations very early in my career, and I know when I was trying to finish fifth in the 1993 Australian Masters, it was a lot of cash because my bonuses were heavily weighted to finishing in the top 5 and top 10. So I had the tightest traps up here, these muscles, in the back 9 that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And when I go back and look at the tapes, I'm almost embarrassed because every shot I'm wobbling my head.
Trying to loosen it.
Trying to get rid of this tension in my traps.
Tom Lehman used to do that. He used to give it the old neck movement.
Oh, my God. I can still feel the tension just thinking about it now. So I would do everything possible. So I wonder where he's feeling
maybe
tension because doing this, it's very unusual.
Maybe it's a postural thing before he walks in. He makes his shoulders back. But the other thing that happened was it became very much a Ryder Cup atmosphere. I mean, the USA chants. And they asked Fitzpatrick about it afterwards. He says,
nothing.
That was child's play compared to Bethpage. I mean, come on.
It was probably great for the tournament. Great atmosphere.
So I think we should go there. The Touch of Class number 2.
Touch of Class.
Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot.
Well, that is pure magic.
Yes.
It's Cameron Young's tee shot.
Play the tee shot again, man. It is worth it because there are rips and then there are things like this. And I would love. You know what I'd love to have seen? Sometimes you see a slow-mo of impact.
Oh.
I would love nothing more to have seen a slow-mo through impact of this one because the club, it might have just moved a hair back from a slightly toe hit. But to get something to go this far, the longest drive in the history of that hole, and he's turned that quite a bit, and it's still
only on the right edge,
of the fairway.
Yeah, that's incredible,
remarkable.
No, that was a touch of class.
What did he hit in? He would have hit his 57 in again. He probably had a 57 and a 57 degree the last 2 holes.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing, which following on from that was Fitzpatrick after the round went up to Young's family and congratulated him. That was brilliant as well. And I told you he was polite. I never really knew what Cam Young was like because you watch him and you just never get a sense of is this, because he's so quiet on the golf course. But when he spoke in his press conference afterwards, you said, I really like this guy because he gave Matt Fitzpatrick high praise. And Cam Young to me always looks like he looks like he's a relief pitcher. You know, he's a closer coming out of the bullpen to like close out a match in a game in baseball. And he's obviously that wasn't the World Series because it's not a major. Remember? Okay.
I know it's not.
Sorry for touching you, but
it's all right. But you'll become a toucher before you know it.
But I think that one was to win the American League Championship. So
yeah,
if he does it at the Masters, well, then you could say it's the World Series.
All right. Well, I guess we better talk about Ludvig Aberg.
Yes.
Because the golf that he played in the first 3 rounds, I mean, the 3-putt on Saturday, I was worried about it. You know,
to finish it off.
That's kind of a.
Never like finishing.
It's the last thing you want to do when you've got I think he had a 4-shot lead at the time, 3-putted the last hole on Saturday. Now he's only got a 3-shot lead. But I wasn't concerned because I was very confident that it was his time.
And I was looking forward to him and Thorbjornsen together because those two guys are flashes. By the way, did you know Thorbjornsen's a 10-finger guy?
10-finger guy.
Yeah, if he'd have won, I might have done a masterclass on that.
If you don't know Thorbjornsen, he won total driving last year. Now,
did he really?
That's if you don't know what total driving is, it's when they look at distance from the tee and fairways hit, and they add that number together, and whoever's got the most fairways hit and
distance,
the longest, you win total
Ludvig
driving.
Could be up there as well, wouldn't
Ludvig could be up there as well. He hit 2 water balls. He made 3 eagles for the week already on 11. They actually showed a slow motion, and I searched for it, but I couldn't find it. All I forgot is they showed a slow motion through impact that I was talking about before. That's why it was in my head, of Ludvig's tee shot on 11.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we've got the picture of that
now,
actually.
The slow motion, there's a still. So you can see so high and
out
on,
the toe.
like it's not even on the black bit of that Titleist drive.
You know how far that drive went?
300 and something?
306 yards.
Okay, so it went 306 yards. I mean, it's
up
great.
The middle.
It's a great illustration why you should go right now and buy yourself a GT3 because he hit that so far out of the toe, and the club, Nick, I promise you can imagine at his club head speed, it went backwards 45 degrees and then reverberated. So it was such a bad connection. It was noticeable. Then he hit it fat in the water. Then he gets up on 12. He made a 6, by the way. He had kind of like a 10-footer or something.
He had a two-shot lead, 3-shot lead at that stage.
Yeah, at that stage, yeah. And then on 12, which is going to be torn up next year.
Oh, really?
That's my understanding. Yeah, Davis Love the third's going to have another go at the 12th.
They don't like the 12th.
They're not happy with it.
Okay.
They're going to try and build something sandbeltish. I wouldn't be surprised. But I reckon the green will run away from you and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
What good short hole should be. Hey, Davis Love, if you're watching this, come down to Melbourne and check out some of our short holes and you'll know what to do. Poor old Ludvig then hits it straight into the water.
Yeah, left.
At number 12.
But he hit driver again, didn't he?
He hit driver
I don't know
again.
why, because I think, was it reachable?
Well, with his absolute best it was.
Right, okay.
But here's the difference. Cameron Young got on that tee and he looked at everything. He felt like he wasn't driving well. Now, this is what he said afterwards in Live From. By the way, Golf Channel, your Live From shows are top-notch.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, they're so good. McGinley and Chamblee and the host, they're great. I mean, they're a great combination.
Rich Lerner, he's a really cool guy.
Rich Lerner, sensational. All you guys are great. And the video and stats and everything, it is brilliant. Make sure when you're taping the golf, folks, on KO, make sure you tape Live From as well because you'll learn so much from it. Anyway, on that program, they had Cameron Young in there. And he said, well, they asked him why I didn't hit driver on 12. He said, well, I didn't feel like I was driving it that well. And to be honest with you, if I'm not going to miss the fairway with a 4-iron the way I'm hitting the ball. I wasn't hitting it that bad. But if you're going to give me 100 yards,
I'll back myself.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll absolutely take it. Now, I'm not even sure what he made on the 12th. Maybe he made a birdie, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But Ludvig, after hitting one in the water and not driving it so well, decided to have a ping. Now, I showed you before we came on the shot tracer. Shot tracer made it look like he could have dropped it maybe 110 yards from the front of the green, 120 yards. That's my best guess.
Yeah. Where did he drop it?
He dropped it with a full
I missed
9.
this bit.
Full 9-iron.
Oh, really?
Behind the water.
And he made double here, right?
Yeah, he hit it over he hit 6-6. So he hit it over the green with the 9-iron. But again,
so he's done
greens are so hard.
So he was. What were we talking about last week? It was the where players don't want to be seen as
Yes.
Well,
that's
doing
what
the
he-
wrong thing.
That's what he
right?
did.
Yeah.
That's what he did. I'm absolutely sure of it. Because instead of maybe just dropping it, from the red line 110 yards out, he's hitting a full 9-iron in.
Right.
That 9-iron goes over the back. Guess what he does from over the back? Putts it.
Oh, okay.
And hit it too hard through the sticky ryegrass. It goes 10 foot, 12 foot past the hole.
Oh, that's a horrible double.
It's a really, really bad double.
Because that's a birdie hole all day.
Now, two people who I really rate when they look at swing analysis.
Yes.
Jonathan Yarwood,
Mm-hmm.
who we've had on the program.
He's
Thank you,
great.
Jonathan. I hope you see this clip. We put you in high regard. And also, I like Brandel Chamblee. I like what he thinks about the golf swing.
Okay.
I really do. I think it's interesting because he goes back with past golfers and compares them. And
There's a good book on it that he wrote.
Yeah. I love that sort of analysis. Everyone thinks differently. They're two people I can listen to. When Yarwood breaks down Ludvig's golf swing, believe me, we're looking at micro stuff because he's very, very good. Yarwood said that he takes the club back very square, and then as he transitions, the club opens up
Okay.
a little bit too much, a hair too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, if the club's a little bit too open, folks, on the way down, in a split second, you've just got to close that. Now, with repetition and everything, that's easy to do. Now,
He has got a
combined-
very fast tempo.
and he's got a fast tempo. I'm glad you said that because Brandel Chamblee was talking about his quick hips.
Okay.
And I agree with it. In fact, we've got a clip up there of him hitting. Now, this is after round 3 when they thought he was unbeatable.
Right. Okay.
And they put 3 drives together on live from or one of the things. And it's when he puts his club behind the ball, his driver behind the ball, how long it actually takes him to start swinging the club.
Yeah. Not
Right.
long at all.
Because he doesn't think over the ball,
No.
and it's a beautiful way to play, folks. I mean,
Yeah.
if you are setting up and you're looking at the ball and you're doing your thinking there,
Staring.
I think you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But you've got to be doing something, whether you're looking at the target or whether you're just ready to pull the trigger. Now,
Have a look.
show these clips. Now, you'll see club goes down, timer goes on at the top, a little bit of a fiddle around, closes his hips like I'm doing at the moment. Tell us you're watching the show without telling us you're watching the show, Ludvig. And then away he goes. Well, that was about 4 seconds from club behind the ball to hitting. Now, this time I want you to watch the hips because I think Brandel's right. I think they are quicker hips than your normal guy. Maybe that one not. That was absolutely pure.
4 seconds again.
Yeah.
Repeat.
But the quick tempo from club down to making contact with the ball, and this was the most beautiful drive you've ever seen as well. This was 18 on Saturday. Right.
Faster.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's done anything wrong. So they're the first 3 days. But when you watch the last day, and particularly the bad shots, I did feel like Brandel was right and that he did have quick hips. Now, if he's got quick hips with the combination of what Yarwood is saying and the club is opening an awful lot of the transition,
That's hard to match up.
That's hard to match up under
Yeah.
pressure.
And that's the thing with a faster swing. Typically, you're going to just get faster under pressure. Oh, most people
Most
always
people.
speed up a little bit anyway,
people.
but it's the pressure that does it. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
And he's in an interesting stage in his career right now because he's had really good chances to win big events, and he hasn't got over the line yet.
Quite a few.
The
big
next
time
time he
events,
gets a lead going into the last round, there's going to be a lot of question marks over his head, and I know that's a tough place to be.
And the one course that suits him, I think, the most is Augusta.
There's Augusta.
So we're going to see it probably. I'd love to see him under the gun and watch for any kind
Oh,
of
it'd be
differences.
fantastic. Yeah.
Because
I love the way he plays. He's just fast. He gets on with it.
Yeah.
Makes decisions. Now, some people say, well, under the pressure, maybe he should slow down a bit more, but that's not his style. And unfortunately, he just made a couple of bad swings.
Well, who came onto the scene with the quickest hips of all?
Tiger
Woods. And when Butch Harmon, when they changed that, well, Tiger had 3 or 4 swings, but his amateur swing won the 1997 US Masters. He won that with his amateur swing. Straight away, they tried to change it. Took him a couple of years. But a big part of that change, 1, he was trying to get the club less across the line, folks. And 2, he was trying to slow his
him down.
hips down. Now, it will be interesting to see because they'd all watch it. They'd all watch live from. They'd all hear and see maybe the Jonathan Yarwood talking about his club face opening on the way down, all that sort of stuff. it's a real watch for me to see whether they take notice of the quick hips, because I'm certain his hips were going very quick in round 4.
Another interesting one that Chamblee came up with earlier in the week is because Scottie Scheffler didn't have, and for him, not a great week, outside the top 20 again, which is kind of weird. But he spoke about his swing being a good foot and a half shorter than what it normally is, and he's all out of sorts as well.
Yeah, he is.
Now, it's just one of those things that, again, his coach Randy Smyth, I'm sure they're working on things, but Scottie's pretty upset on the golf course at the moment. So he's got a few weeks to go before the Masters, and it's all fine. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But again, his bad weeks is he's finishing 20th. So don't panic, folks.
Although he did beat Rory for us, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah, he got the multi
Scottie.
So well done.
Well, you played good bad golf to beat Rosa. Apparently, Rory finished right down. I think he was a couple over or something, wasn't he?
He was well down on the list.
He had the worst. I think he was last.
Maybe
he was
playing
last
up
in putting.
Was he?
Last in putting for the week.
Okay.
Again, this is the sort of stuff you pick up from live from.
Now, before we go to the turn,
yes,
we have to do the host plus. That's a plus for golf.
Absolutely.
We have to know. I want to, because I don't know where you're going to go with this because there's so many.
Oh, it's pretty simple. Hannah Green.
Yeah,
Hannah Green to be the first Australian to win her home championship since 2014.
Since Carrie Webb.
That is a plus for host plus.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Are we going to talk about Brian Rollup?
After the turn.
Okay.
We need to, yeah.
We got
so much today. So.
Yeah, we got a little bit from Travis Smyth as well that we have to get to. So apologies, folks. It's going to be a long podcast.
Yeah, this one's going to be longer than usual.
But we'll try and get through as much as we can.
Yes.
See you on the 10th tee.
Doing the mat.
Yeah.
Golf buggies, golf carts, e-bikes, scooters. If it charges at home, chances are it's charging right now. Overcharging lithium batteries can damage your equipment, or worse, put your home at risk. SwitchStar power points deliver power for up to 8 hours, then switch off automatically. No apps, no Wi-Fi, nothing to remember. When you forget, SwitchStar doesn't. SwitchStar. Every home should have one.
From Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, this is Talk Birdie to Me. We're here for BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. The golf clearance outlet, they beat everyone's prices. Ping will help you play your best. And Betr, ahead of the game. Now for Titleist, the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Here's Nick and Mark.
Okay, welcome back. We'll get to our top 5 and all the rest of the specials very, very soon. But Dan, last week we were speaking about Travis Smyth in the playoff, and Travis got in contact with you. And believe me, I've pre-read it. I really rate what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, I think what Travis has done here is fantastic. But let's read what he's had to say. His correspondence to us. And if you can do it word for word, that'd be even better.
Yeah, we will. So Travis reached out. He wasn't, fair to say, he wasn't happy about the conversation last week on
we
the show.
understand why.
Yeah. And I did invite him to come on. He didn't want to do that. But what I said to him was, we'll read his comments out word for word, completely unedited.
Yep.
And he was happy with that. Or he seemed happy with that.
And just before you do, last week we made it pretty clear that we were unhappy with how the game is being governed at the moment. Not so much with what Travis did.
Well, enforcing the rules, basically.
We didn't want it. The last thing we wanted to do was take the trophy off him, all right, or have some kind of investigation. What we'd like is the rules of golf to be governed differently.
Yep. Okay. So here's what he said. Guys, you've got your clickbait, and now I'm getting accused of cheating, which is so wrong and unfair. I wasn't improving my lie, and I was well within the rules of golf. I didn't add any force downward. I was simply placing the club behind the ball with the weight of the club. The long, thin, soft fescue grass makes it look like I'm improving it, but I can assure you I was not. If I did improve my lie, I would have hit hybrid, but I didn't, and still came out low left. Don't accuse a player of cheating if you can't see the lie at the beginning and then before I hit the shot. I didn't improve it at all. I was placing the club behind the ball with no extra force. I went up and down with the weight of the club to assess what the grass is doing to do once I take it away. It was thick and clumpy behind the ball, and I was trying to get a sense if I could hit 4-iron or hybrid. If I was cheating, I would have pressed the grass down firm and just hit hybrid, but I did not. The grass remained thick behind the ball, and the 4-iron still came out low left. Don't accuse people of cheating unless you are 100% sure that the lie was improved. If you didn't see the ball or the lie as I was playing the shot, it is not fair that you call someone out for cheating. All you're doing is stirring the pot to get views and clicks whilst potentially staining a player's image.
Yeah, look, very interesting. And again, I completely rate him getting in contact with us and putting his view down. You and I both know, Nick, that if there's any kind of, I don't know, smoke that you might be cheating, and he said cheating there a hell of a lot of times.
Golf's one of those games, isn't it? Where
Yeah, golf is one of those games, but I know why he's taken it the way he's taken it. But again, then just to reinforce, we weren't so concerned with, like, we didn't call, as far as I know,
No, it's 'cause-
we didn't call him a cheat.
the only reason we went down the path was someone wrote in and sent the video, and we thought, we'll have a
Yeah.
look at it. I was commentating at the time.
That's right.
So
We don't like the way the game has been governed, Travis. We don't want you to lose that tournament. And the week after you've gone on, you've won the Order of Merit.
by
and
the
you're
way,
now-
well, I was going to talk about that in the
Congratulations,
Ping
yeah.
Global results, but we'll get in early there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad that you've got in touch with us. Congratulations on the victory with the Order of Merit, and we wish you all the best on that European tour where you deserve to be. I hope you take this in the right spirit, and the spirit that we're conveying it. And I hope the PGA Tour and a few others are listening in as well, because this is the sort of thing that happens as time goes on.
Okay, with that said, time to move on to the top 5.
Righto. Now, this week's top 5 is a little bit different, and
Okay.
I know I'm going to get pushed back, so shut up, Nick.
What do you mean?
Oh, hello.
This week it's a top 6.
Top five, top five, top five.
The top 5 for Betr. When the greats bet, they bet with Betr.
Top five, top five, top five.
This week is a top 6.
Of
and you'll
all the
understand why
times you guys give me stick,
Wow.
and you're going for a top 6.
Well, because the show is so long, Dan's come up with a very good thing, and we're going to do the top. My top 5 was going to be quick hips, the quickest hips in golf. I'll save it for another time.
Save it for another.
But to save time, we're going to do the top 6 Brian Rolap points that he made at the
yes.
start of the PGA Tour with how the tour is going to look moving forward.
CEO of the, I like this guy too, the way
Yeah.
he speaks, goes about it.
I'm all in. Not everything's perfect,
No.
but it would be impossible to please everybody.
He's certainly doing a better job than the previous guy.
So point number 1, no needed to go from 6 to 1 this week. Just point number 1.
Oh, okay.
2 tracks of events, 21 to 26 events, January to September. Now, for internationals, I hope it's more like 21 events than 26, and maybe
And then we get a couple.
there'll be a
in
little
there.
bit more
Yeah.
room. So I do get, when he says 2 tracks of events, it's almost like the 1 tier and 2 tier, but there's still PGA Tour. So in effect, we've always had it. There's tier 1 tournaments, tier 2 tournaments, and then the Corn Ferry Tour.
Yep.
So that will continue, but
And that will,
a top of 26 events.
yeah, okay.
All righty.
That's number 1.
Bigger fields and cuts in the big events.
Good.
So that makes everybody
70 to
happy.
80 fields are gone, and they'll go up to about, what was it, 120, I think he
120
said?
is
Yeah.
what he said. Now,
Okay.
that makes an awful lot of sense.
Perfect.
The 80 fielders, I mean, come
Yeah.
on. That's not what golf's about. Golf, and he went on, is a meritocracy. The better you play, the more money you'll make.
Yep.
And that's the way we like it in golf. And we would like as many people playing for the big dollars as possible with a cut, because you need a cut on
You
the
do.
weekend so
You
you
do.
can fit everybody in. The best coast start for a venue on the West. So they want to start the tour with a bang.
Well, they talk about, the West Coast, and they call it the best coast. And
Yep.
and rather than going, I don't think they want to do the Hawaii thing anymore. They want to go, right, I hope they don't use Torrey Pines. I hope they use Pebble.
They're going straight to Pebble.
There's an iconic
Of course
venue.
they are.
But I have a feeling it might be Torrey.
Don't say that. I reckon the iconic venue in the West, that has got Pebble Beach written all over it, and that's where we start.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Ryan, please start at about the end of February and make it a 21 tour season for the top of field. So you would help us. You would help internationals out a hell of a lot. Bigger markets. Now, not many people would understand this, Nick, but you played the PGA Tour. You don't always go to the big cities, do you?
No, you don't go to places or rarely go to places like San Francisco or Chicago, Philadelphia, New York. Yeah, you get there once in a while. LA, obviously, with Riviera, but they're going to more of the smaller markets typically.
Well, it says here only 4 out of 10 of the biggest markets in the US are currently looked after.
There you go.
So they're going to start going to big markets. Now, I played the Corn Ferry Tour, and you go to tiny little places, and that works superbly well because that little community, in Odessa, Texas, or some of these tiny little places.
I'd love it.
Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Perfect. So the locals rally around it, and it becomes quite a big event, and it works perfectly for the Corn Ferry Tour. But I didn't realise it until he said it out loud. Anyway, so that's point number 4. Point number 5: promotion and relegation.
I like this.
Wow,
we're getting EPL sort of vibes, aren't we?
Righto. So you would think if there's a 2-tiered situation on the PGA Tour, would it be the top 100 are guaranteed in, and then we'll try and, there's 20 spots every week for if you're playing well. So, for instance, Gotterup's been playing well, or Betr, hadn't got into a few of these tournaments and got sponsors' invitations. There'd be room for people who are playing well and maybe some champs who we could put in there because we know it'll get people through the gates.
Well, I'm wondering if it relates to the 2 tracks of events. You're going to have an elevated one and a slightly less elevated one. The main players do that. The lower players do this. Can they come up during the season, or is it in the off season? I don't know.
And I reckon re-ranks.
And it's all still a bit vague. But
tell people about what the re-rank is. So they're little order of merits that break up a season.
Yeah, typically if you're through Q school or you're in one of what they call the lower categories, and you start performing well early, you get re-ranked to the top of that list, and all of a sudden you get starts in more tournaments. So it's a great way to do it.
All right. Again, under the headline, tell me you're watching our show without telling me you're watching the show. Enhanced postseason match play.
Possibly.
Nick O'Hearn, you were the one who got this ball rolling, Nick O'Hearn.
So the FedEx Cup, when you think about it, right?
This is the best.
And the perfect thing is if you look at every other sport, they have their playoffs, which is our FedEx Cup in golf.
Yeah, win or go home.
Win or go home.
Win or go home.
Okay, the NFL, you might have the best record in the league. You get beaten in the first playoff game, you're gone.
You're out. Win or go home.
Baseball, same. Basketball, same. All that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I love the fact that they're talking the potential to have a match play to win the FedEx Cup.
How good would it be? They would have.
And imagine if you get Scottie or Rory playing for it, that'd be huge.
So you'd have week 1, 70 players. You'd have week 2, down to 32 players, I reckon is how they'll do it. Maybe 16.
Maybe less. I think maybe, it's down
I reckon 16 would be about right.
I think 16 because that's like a, just before a quarterfinal. So you got 4 rounds or something.
And then the points will be ranking, so you'll be seeded. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just works perfectly. So, everybody's under pressure. If there's a round of 16, a round of 8, a round of 4, just 4 rounds, right? 4 rounds of who's going to win this thing. Would you you're the king of match play in this room. So would you have a 36-hole final, or would you just have an 18-hole final?
Depends on how much they've played beforehand.
Yeah. All the others would only be 18 holes.
Yeah.
So it'd be around a 60.
I think 18's enough.
Well, if it's 18's enough, then I think round of 16 is enough.
Yeah.
So you'd go, maybe it's just top 60 is first week of the FedEx.
Maybe.
Then down to 32. And then they get rid of half in that second tournament. And then there's the top 16 playing the Tour Championship. And that way you've only got 1 trophy at the end.
And I'd say maybe the top guys get a bye in that first round, or so, as in not in the match play, but in the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs, perhaps. I mean, I don't know. So many things to consider.
I was thinking we had 2
nice top 6, by the way. I'm
going
to remember that.
Thank you, Nick.
That was nice. Yeah, we had 2 BMW Touch of Classes, and I reckon this week with the Host Plus, that's a plus for golf. I think you can say that Brian Rollo, he's a plus for golf.
Yeah, he's a plus for golf.
He really is.
No, I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like I said, not everyone will be happy, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with what he's doing.
Sounds good.
The only thing we want, Nick, it's at the point number 1. 21 to 26 events. Gee, if he can see his way to having 21 or 22 events of the big ones, and they start just a little bit later in Feb when Pebble Beach would be much better in Feb, at the very end of Feb than at the very end of January. It would be much better. If that could happen, then away we go.
All right, Nick, time for the Ping Global results. All right, this Ping will help you play your best.
Before you get going, have you noticed my new shoes that were just delivered a little while ago?
I just saw that. Yeah, you got them straight out of the box.
Wow.
Very, very nice. The Premiers.
The new Premiers, but my goodness.
Right there?
Look.
You're jigging in your seat.
Wow. They are the most beautiful shoes I have ever seen.
A kid in the candy shop, aren't you?
Yeah, he is.
All right, Nick, let's go.
All right, let's start with the Women's Australian Open. As we know, Hannah Green had a one-shot win over our own Cassie Porter. Course record 62, 10 birdies, no bogeys.
You know what the record was previously?
No.
65. So not only did she smash the course record, she smashed the course record in the final round of her home Open.
Incredible.
Cassie
was tied with Frances Agatlanay, who actually won the New South Wales Open a couple of weeks earlier, so she's in fine form. Best of the rest of the Aussies, Karis Davidson, tied for fourth, another Ping player like Cassie. Momoko Kabori did very well for New Zealand there, tied for seventh, and Grace Kim
she looks good.
Tied for 10th. Players, Sawgrass, obviously, last week, not the fifth major. We're not going to go down there. Cameron Young had a one-shot win over Matt Fitzpatrick. Xander played nicely coming down the stretch. Birdied 3 of his last 4 holes to sneak third position.
He's swinging better.
Even sat in the clubhouse thinking, I might have a chance, but never came through.
I've got something planned for next week's pod.
Okay.
I've noticed something with the best strikers in the business at the moment. I've got all the swings ready, but I've just got to put some lines on them like coaches do.
Oh, okay.
And just something I picked up last week. So look for that next week.
Did you guys see what happened on day 3 at the Players?
No.
They opened the gates for the public. I think it was like an hour and a half late because there was a shooter on the loose who'd broken into the grounds.
What, in Jacksonville?
He shot 2 people.
Oh, my God.
In Jacksonville?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think it ended well for the 2 people. But they caught the guy like about maybe 7 or 8 miles north of the course after that.
Oh, so they didn't let anybody in the tournament just in case.
My understanding is the gates were closed for an hour and a half. The start time wasn't delayed, but the crowd were not allowed in while they were hunting for this guy.
Yeah, okay.
Gosh, wow.
Righto, thank you.
Alana always liked staying there at Sawgrass, but maybe not anymore.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Okay, but best of the rest of the Aussies who are playing.
What about the Aussies? I didn't even see that.
Minwoo Lee tied for 32nd. He was doing all right for a little while. Adam Scott tied for 56. Jason Day tied for 59.
He had a bad last round, I think, Jason, didn't he?
Yeah.
80 or something.
There was a moment there where Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy may, around that cut line again, but they snuck through. But not a great week for both of them. Liv Singapore was on where Lee Westwood found some old form of late. He was tied for the lead with Joaquin Neiman going into the last round.
Does that mean the Majestics did well?
No, they finished second last again. With Lee still doing really well. Trust me, I want to know with the Majestics why they still have 2 captains. Lee Westwood and Ian Poulter. I don't understand.
Sharing the duties.
Every other team has one.
Are they last or second last?
Second last every week. The Korean Golf Club seems to be they're struggling since they got rid of the Japanese player. Funnily enough,
they got rid of the Japanese player, and now they're coming last every week. Fabulous.
Anyway, Bryson DeChambeau had a win in a playoff against Richard Teeley, the Canadian.
He's been playing well, that kid, that Lee kid.
Well, you don't want to see the putt he missed in the playoff. It was 2 feet, and it was the ugliest stroke you've ever seen.
Saw it. It was a nervous stroke.
After Bryson had found the water off the tee in the playoff too. So it was a par 5. He ended up winning it with a par. Best of the Aussies. Cam Smith played a bit better, tied for 8th.
Good
to see him back in form. Mark Leishman tied for 15th, Lucas Herbert 17th, and Elvis 28th. The 4 aces took out the title, and Team Ripper were runner-up.
The 4 aces, they win their fair share of the team events.
That's 2 in a row.
Yeah,
They and Anthony Kim's part of that one now too. So
yeah, well, he's been a good pickup.
Yeah, and then locally we had the Heritage Classic in the Yarra Valley. Will Florimo, the Queenslander, the lefty. Always good to see a lefty win. Had a 2-shot win over West Australian Hayden Barron. So that's Will's first win on tour. And as we were sort of mentioning earlier, Travis Smyth has now officially won the Order of Merit here in Australasia. That gets him 4 tour cards at the moment. He's got an Aussie, an Asian, He wins the Order of Merit, so that
Jeez.
gives him a DTP World Tour card. And because he won the ISPS Hunter tournament, which is a co-sanction with the Japanese tour, he gets a Japanese card. He's got to pick and choose. I don't know where he's going to go, but I'm assuming it'll be the DP World Tour.
Go to Europe, son.
That'll be the way to go.
Go to Europe, son. You're a good player.
Definitely.
Talk Birdie feedback. Thanks to Southern Golf Club.
Okay, first bit of feedback. This comes from Darren. Now, you guys remember Darren Murphy, our Wolfpacker from Toowoomba?
Yes.
Who we sent to
The big PGA.
PGA.
He had a good time.
He also went to Adelaide for the Australian Women's Open. Awesome day today. He sent this on Saturday, by the way. That's relevant here in a moment. I followed Grace, Kim, Minji, and Hannah around a magnificent-looking Kooyonga. Hannah will be hard to beat. So that was on Saturday, he wrote that. He obviously called it.
Well done.
Yep.
He knows his stuff.
Well done to Hannah. We had a lot of comments on the Travis discussion. I'll just read this one here because this is interesting. Charles has said, I think no club behind the ball until you set up to hit. Club selection should be made away from the ball. Only time your club is behind the ball is when you're starting your backswing.
I
don't think that's workable.
No, I don't. I think it's unworkable. I think you should be allowed to put the club down behind the ball.
To get a feel for
Absolutely.
it,
Yeah, to get a feel for what's going on.
As long as it's not too long,
That's it.
Yeah, we've got a comment here from Sam. Sam has got a bit of a whack for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. Sam has said this. Guys, you talked about these rules things last week and you used the phrase line in the sand. Let's go back to 2013. Tiger Woods, Masters, not disqualified? Come on. Talking about the highest profile, letting someone get away with something. Professional golf has changed, and the 2013 Masters incident exemplified just how much. If it was anyone else, they would have been out of that tournament. It is amazing that Tiger didn't withdraw. If he'd won, it would have been tainted. And what about the money pads for the players that all got bumped down a spot because he was allowed to play? It was bad. And there's always Patrick Reed in the sand. What a joke.
Well, it's the ultimate, really, isn't it? And the Masters, that organisation is a rule unto themselves.
Yes.
I wonder if he would have played on the weekend if it was a US Open and not the Masters. And my bet would be that the USGA would have said, no, we're not doing it. You're not playing.
Or if it was an Open Championship.
If an Open Championship,
no.
He wouldn't have played on the weekend. Yeah. So I agree with you. But look, I think ultimately the decision in 2013 to let Tiger play on the weekend was up to their chairman. And the chairman said he's playing.
Lots of feedback on the comments about Akshay last week. MDM has said, I've been saying this about him for a while now. That looks anchored to me, and that's illegal. The tour should ban it immediately. They should not allow this to continue. Ian has said, the anchoring ban is just a terrible piece of legislation. It's poorly thought through. It's poorly managed. If the governing bodies don't get this kind of rule correct, which is relatively black and white, how do they have any hope around things like aim point and lines on balls, which are more nuanced?
Yep.
Just make the putter the shortest club in the bag and let's move on.
Well, two things that Nick O'Hearn has been big on is match play in the Tour Championship. Tick. I wouldn't be surprised whether you get your way with the shortest club in the bag as well. I wouldn't be surprised. It won't happen soon.
I think it's got as much chance as smaller driver heads and a spinnier ball for pros. Now, we're talking pros only, by the way. Everyone else, have at it.
I think that your three big ones are going to come good.
Okay.
I do.
Well.
Nothing will happen overnight, but I think all those things will happen eventually because they make sense, Nick.
We did our 7 predictions at the start of the year, didn't we?
I
think we're well on the way, actually, because, the first one up is Scottie.
When do we open that? What do you call that when you put something in the ground and you open it up a lot? The time capsule.
The time capsule.
I'll be interested to open
at
that time capsule in December and see how we went.
I mean, Hannah Green's well on her way to winning a major. I said she would. Yeah. Minwoo's on his way to the top 10. So anyway.
All right.
Here we go.
Scottie, not so much.
Not so much, no.
I'm trying to figure out which one we go to. We'll go to this one. This one here from Billy. He's certainly anchoring against his shirt, but that's not illegal. Is his word believable? I don't know. His word is the only argument against what looks a little bit dubious.
That is exactly right.
In golf, your honesty is your rule book, and that rule book has been proven to be broken before. So we need to have a rule book that does not rely on individuals' rule books.
Yeah, it was disappointing to me in the whole situation. The week after he won, he got to the course the next week, and they decided to have a look at his action, right?
They did?
Yeah, they had a look at his action on the Monday or the Tuesday, whenever he turned up.
Of the players?
Of the players.
Okay.
So, of course, he's showing them what he does.
Yeah. And it's out here.
And he would have only just been touching his shirt, or maybe. So the problem is that we don't want people watching golf from home on their couch That guy's cheating. That guy's cheating. That guy's cheating. We don't want that. We want clear rules and clear lines in the sand. And I think it's really important that the USJ contact the RNA and sort a few things out, because the game is too big. It's too powerful. It's too popular to have dispersions every second week.
So for the most part, people agreed with the view that you guys had about Akshay, but not all.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit of a whack here. Brace yourself for this one, Mark.
Oh, okay.
This is coming at you. This comes from Aussie. Mark, you said, I have enough evidence to say that he is anchoring. I'm sorry, Mark. I truly hope you never get called for jury duty, because that is not enough evidence to conclusively say he's anchoring. And you lumping Langer in with it with no evidence to support your accusation, that's not cool. You should know from your experience that we do not call other players' reputations into disrepute without sufficient evidence, which you do not have.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending broomstick putters. I think they should be banned. But my point is, you do not have enough evidence, particularly in a court of law, to justify the accusations you made.
Well, what's the term I'm looking for, Dan? It's when you've got enough evidence to convict. It's the...
Oh, is it like a civil court as opposed to criminal court?
There's enough. I mean, there's different levels of...
burden of proof. Or...
Yeah, burden of proof. There's different levels of burden of proof.
Yeah.
And I would say, in a murder case, all right, we want 95%. But in an anchoring case, I think the burden of proof should be around 70%.
Okay.
Oh.
And I think I've got 70% covered.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm convicting.
All right. Okay.
These anchorers. Yes.
Let's wrap this up with a question from Wayne.
Yes.
How about the guys who anchor the putter against their forearm like Bryson?
Yeah, I reckon we get rid of that too. Yeah.
Well, again, it's the length of the putter which is causing the issue.
And that's exactly right. You mightn't have to actually ban that style of putting if we go to the blanket clause where it's the shortest putter in the shortest club in the bag. Then you look. I mean, I remember Roger Davis doing it with a
B60,
a normal length putter, and it did look weird. And I think that looking of weirdness would stop a lot of players from doing it. I mean, Bryson wouldn't do it. I don't think he would just have a nice upright putting stroke.
Yeah.
So I think that should be out of the game as well. But I think the shortest club in the bag rule, the Nick O'Hearn rule, I think it will basically get rid of it as well.
Well, you guys often talk about bifurcation, and this last one here from Jeff is kind of talking about bifurcation. A lot of amateur golfers still enjoy golf because of long putters. I personally know a few that would not be playing this wonderful game if they were not able to use a long putter.
Yes.
And that's the point you make about bifurcation, Nick, all the time.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
If you're playing in a handicap event or if you're playing for fun with your mates, no problem. In fact, I don't want you to do the normal. I want you to actually anchor it.
Yes. Anchor away is what I'm saying.
I want you to, if your handicap goes from 21 to 15 because you're anchoring, I'm in love with it because you'll play more golf and you're not affecting the top level.
No.
You're only affecting, you're not affecting anything because the handicap takes into account your advantage.
The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices, and I know they've got a bunch of those buggies at the moment too, Mark, which...
the Tri-Lights.
The
Tri-Light buggy, they've just got some new ones in, truckloads, like one container after another.
Yeah,
that's how popular the Tri-Light is.
Yep.
They've got a few other special things that I can't talk about at the moment that are in store that will knock your socks off as far as buggies are concerned.
Nice. Okay. Golf Clearance Outlet, give us the masterclass. That's next.
In my view, the best buggy in the business, and it's only $199. Look how small that is. How easily would that fit into the boot of your car? And watch this, up and out. The best buggy in the country.
What I'm working on in my swing at the moment is being able to sync my lower body to my upper body on the way down. The Hyperflex shoe offers the stability and comfort that I'm looking for in my golf swing. Golf shoes are a huge part of golf equipment, especially when I'm working with the longer clubs like 3-wood and driver. I'm really able to go to another gear and know that I'm going to be supported. My name is Elvis Smiley and these are my FJs.
Okie doke, this week's Masterclass, thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. What have you got for us, Nicholas?
It's a combination of Cam Young and Hannah Green.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh, look at that little beauty turning over.
A little draw with the driver for
What's
Mr.
your
O'Hearn.
clubhead speed these days?
Don't even look at that. I don't want to see it.
I think it's 104. It's 104 miles per hour.
Well, that's pretty good. Okay.
bad.
So Masterclass this week is a combination of Cam Young and Hannah Green. Now, Cam Young, he does this drill, or he did this drill, and now it's morphed into his golf swing where he has this very distinct pause at the top, and then he starts down. The reason he started doing it as a drill was because he found in his golf swing he was coming over the top. He had the upper body going early. Now, pausing, what that does is it shallows the clubs out, and he gets his lower body going first, brings the club from the inside, and then hits out through the ball, and that's why he can hit these big high-bombing draws, as we saw on the 18th at Sawgrass.
Tell us what you're fighting in your own swing at the moment too. You've got to tell us this.
Oh, yeah.
Because this drill would help you.
And this is the Hannah Green part. So with Hannah Green, remember we spoke to Richie Smyth, very much a big body turn, like a big pivot with the body, and the arms are a bit shorter here.
Yep.
What I tend to do is my body stops turning, my arms take over, and all of a sudden I'm all over the place.
You're all over the
So
joint.
I want to feel a big turn with a short arm swing. And then I combine that with Cam Young, the pause at the top. And then all of a sudden I'm coming from the inside, shallowing out and hitting these little bomb draws.
Have you got another draw in you? Come on,
I don't know.
Come on.
Here we go. But the thing about pausing is you have to feel as though it's 2 or 3 seconds at the top. It won't be.
Yeah.
But it'll feel like a long time. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Come on.
You started that one right too.
Yeah.
Sorry, you started that one left too.
Which is good for me. That might be the best of the lot.
I tell you what I loved about that. That's the biggest shoulder turn that I've seen you make for a long time. That pause, when you pause at the top, you must be able to feel the shoulders turning more than when you're going and going.
At my best, whenever I played, my caddy Wilbur, he said it always looked as though when you're swinging well, you're waiting for it. And that's kind of the feeling I have with that drill. So give it a try. It's a great masterclass. I think.
Okay, folks, if you're looking for something special before the Masters, it is golf season, go to golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. We'll catch you next time, folks.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. Live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. The Golf Clearance Outlet, they beat everyone's prices. BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Betr, ahead of the game. Ping will help you play your best. And Host Plus, they can help you drive your retirement further. Now that's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. This is general advice. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and share the pod with a friend. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.
Front 9, back 9, or eyeing the 19th hole, wherever you are in life, Host Plus can help you drive your retirement further. That's a plus.